One. Hi, Tonya.
Hi, Tracy.
You
TNT
look so
Sunday.
pretty today.
Oh, thank you. I like your lipstick and your head wrap and you're all flowing. I like it.
It's just from here to here, though. Like, don't worry about
I don't
even.
know. It looks like it matched. To me, I like it.
Oh
Yes.
my God. I saw your pictures at the Barbara Lee rally. I was so excited. I forgot to go. I'm not gonna lie to you, I slept.
Oh, it's okay.
But Barbara Lee did speak for me. So.
Yeah, it was fun. It was great. That was my second outing for the week.
Okay.
The first one, I went to have lunch with a friend in San Francisco, and whew, I'm glad that I don't work in San Francisco. But it was a beautiful day.
Before the snow happened all
Oh
over the
yeah, I went on Thursday, just before it actually happened, like during the day. And then at night, that's when the storm came and all the shenanigans in Oakland and California happened.
So I'm obviously from Wisconsin, and so I'm helping with a election there. I'm helping a candidate run, and it's so funny because like their whole team is in Milwaukee, and I'm like, yeah, it's really cold out here, but he's like, please get out of here, please be quiet.
And it was so cold. And then when I went, yeah, so for Barbara Lee's thing on Saturday, so everyone who doesn't know, our Congresswoman Barbara Lee is running for U.S. State Senate, and she had her launch on Saturday
Mhm.
at Laney College, which is our local community college, and it was moved from outside to inside because they were thinking it was going to rain. It didn't rain quite yet, but it was cold
And windy.
and windy. I had
Mhm.
a hat on, like a school hat, like it was winter time. Talking
Right.
about, so, and now it's rainy.
And now it's raining.
And yes, and a lot of Black Oakland is out downtown for the sixth annual Black Joy Parade. I'm not there because
Right. No, I don't do the rain. Listen, my hair is wrapped up, but your hair is too good. Look, you got that Portia Preston curl. You cannot be out here in the rain.
no, I cannot be out there in the rain right now.
But
So
shout out to Black Joy.
yeah, I'm joyfully maintaining the hairstyle and
That's right.
wishing, everyone well out in the rain for Oakland. Oh
Any other things happen for you this week? Any
my
good things?
goodness.
Any exciting things?
Exciting things, interesting things. So I told you, you all know I'm a fan of Star Trek and Star Wars, all the star stuff.
Yes.
And I was watching an episode. I'm trying to rewatch Star Trek Generation because they are doing a kind of a post Star Trek Generation on Disney Plus called Picard. Not Disney Plus, Paramount Plus,
Mhm.
called Picard. And that's 3 seasons in. And I was like, I feel like I didn't know enough about Star Trek Generation. So I decided to watch it. And now that I think about it, I don't think I really watched it because it came out in 1988.
Okay.
And I was what, 11. I was telling a friend, I actually was scared of Star Trek when I was little because
Okay.
the alien. And I'm actually not a horror aficionado at all. I do not watch horror movies. I don't like the big thing back then was Alien, and I was like, no, I'm not watching anything Alien. And Star Trek, I felt was way scarier to me than Star Wars because Star Wars aliens are cute and funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Star Trek aliens are scary as hell.
Mhm.
And so at the time as a kid, I was not watching it. Now I'm watching it as an adult. And I'm finding it was in the 80s, it was filmed in the 80s, and it was actually the setting was 300 years into the future. So I'm finding like how it's really funny how some of the stuff is supposed to be about the future, but they act very 80s. The acting is very 80s. The attitudes about stuff is very 80s. And so I find it really hilarious. And I realized I was actually watching two GH actors or GH adjacent actors that are in the show.
Huh.
So Elizabeth's mom, Denise Crosby, was in Star Trek Generation. She was in the whole first season.
Wow.
She played security. Her name was Natasha Tarr. And she was like a hot lady back in the day. She was tall, willity, skinny. She had blonde hair and these big blue eyes, and she was the attractive lady on that show at the time. And she had a significant part, and she got killed off by a scary, oily monster. The other episode, it really stressed me out. And then the other one, the other actor is Jonathan Frakes, who is Jeannie Francis's husband.
Yes,
And
I knew that.
he was supposed to be the attractive male on there. But that show was so 80s, I find him to be very annoying. He's like, his acting is hella stiff. He's super tall and he stands so close to other people. He freaks me out, but he is a handsome man. So I'm going to let the show happen. I'm only on season 2. They say the series gets way better after season 2 because it was a pilot. It was kind of, the acting is kind of funky, and the story, the writing is a little corny as hell. It's corny as hell. So I mean, just an example, right? They found a ship that was just kind of floating in space, and in it were 3 people that were frozen, and they were frozen because they were about to die and they wanted to, be preserved. So they were frozen out in space, and by the time that they were found by the Enterprise rescued them and then awakened them and cured their illness, which we couldn't cure back in our time.
That's
And the
good.
first thing one of the persons asked for, he's like, well, since I invested in cryogenics, that means it must have worked. And I'm probably super rich right now. So somebody get me a Wall Street Journal and a phone so I can call my lawyer and see where my money's at. And I was just like, dude, you're 300 years in the future. You still think Wall Street Journal is just writing newspapers and that your bank account is still intact? No, it was hilarious. But yeah, so that's what I was watching.
I love the General Hospital cinematic universe.
Right. They were all up in it. I was just like, wow. So yeah, I can't wait to finish it and then watch Picard to see how Jonathan Frakes acts now. See if he's so much better, because he was not good first season. But yeah, but I can see how they could totally be like Jeannie Francis and him were totally like the it couple back in the 80s. They probably were. I can see it.
Cute, 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 cute.
I have one more thing, but you go ahead.
I have no things.
Oh, the only other thing is I don't know if I told you guys about Marvel, Moon Girl and the Dev Dinosaur cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you about it last week?
You told me about Moon Girl.
Yes. Watch that. Well, it's the whole show, Moon Girl and Dev Dinosaur.
Oh, okay.
There's an episode today. It was about hair. It's episode 5. It was amazing. You should watch it.
Okay.
And all the girls that are watching our show or listening, especially if you're a Black girl, Black woman, watch that show, episode 5. It was amazing.
I love the rundown of what you're watching, because I've really just been like rewatching New Girl is what has been happening to me. So like, I'm like, yeah, tell me. And I have my Grogu onesie ready because I'm about to like really get into the Mandalorian when it comes out. I'm ready.
So ready.
Yeah.
I have to get through Star Trek though.
And then I've been watching The Perfect Match. It's like this super trashy Netflix show, just the trashiest. And I've found so much joy in how trashy it is. So if you're watching it, hit me up because I would love to talk about how trashy it is.
And I commented on your tweet about Grey's Anatomy.
We can talk about Grey's Anatomy forever, so let's not do that. But yes.
Oh my goodness.
People hated it. I was like,
I mean, I what I didn't like was that the network had hyped up the episode so much about it being Meredith's last day. And all she got was like a little hallway party, and the cake wasn't even correct. it was like, and then she was like, all right, I gotta go. And then out.
Get it. I loved her pretending like she didn't hear him on the plane. Like it was just classic Meredith. I was like, Ellis Gray, your kids are not, your daughters are acting a fool right now. Um, it was the best. But what I do love about Grey's and like the kind of parallel with soaps is
Mhm.
that it's going forever. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's called Grey's Anatomy, but I think that what they said was like, we're going to continue to go without Meredith Grey there. Like we've basically rebooted the episode without ever ending the show, or rebooted the show without ever ending it. And I like that. So
Yeah, it could be like Ryan's Hope. I don't even know who Ryan was in Ryan's Hope, but it kept going.
barely at the hospital. We talking about General Hospital. So here we are.
And it, as far as Black people are concerned, Young and the Restless is basically Victor Newman's show. I'd be like, oh, you watch Victor Newman? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that time they had Victor Newman speaking like an MLK event? And I was like, well, I guess this tracks.
I don't know. I don't remember him speaking at MLK event, but Black people would appreciate it. That's
Want
Victor
to dive into this week? I do not have a very good recap, but we'll have a good discussion anyway.
Newman.
Shout out to make sure that you go to Soap Central if you want the the real recap. Shout out to Ariel who really supported me in writing this recap because I just read the ones that she wrote. So here we are. The whole town, including Esme, find out that Ryan and Heather are Esme's parents. Esme gives birth at Windermere. Max shoots and kills Ryan, and Heather confesses to being the hook. That's the whole family roundup for you. The kiss we have been waiting for. Sprina kiss at the art gallery, and despite Trina being ready to take it to the several steps next steps further, Spencer puts the brakes on it because he wants their first time to be special. I love that, but anyway, Sunny tries to get Michael to build a bridge between Nina and Willow. He refuses. Sunny's. Dex tells Josh that he's working for someone to take Sunny down, leaving out the part about it being Michael. Decide to continue dating in secret, and that Dex will continue to work with Sunny. Austin is going to survive his gunshot wound. Felicia goes to the hospital with him. At first, I was confused as to why Felicia and Austin even knew each other because I forgot that Austin and Maxie used to date.
That was my note. I was like, and then I was like, oh yeah, he was Maxie's boyfriend.
We all put it out of our head. We were like, why are they close?
Why did she care about what's going on with Austin?
Awful. We're awful. Sasha goes off on Heather for killing Brando. Liz and Cam have a heart-to-heart, and Liz heads to the PCPD to turn himself in. Ava tells Spencer that Ryan sent Esme after him. Spencer realizes the manipulation that he suffered and feels really bad that there's no more Nicholas in town, while Ava knows there's no more Nicholas, period.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that is what I got for the week, if I'm being honest with you. That's all I got. What else happened?
Yeah, there's some other stuff that happened, which we'll talk about, but I don't appreciate. But
yeah. What was your favorite moment of the week?
Ooh, I had multiple favorite moments.
Tell me.
So, okay. First, Z-Kiss. I call it Z-Kiss because it was Z-Kiss. It was something that we were all waiting for, and it was so sweet. So everyone, brief TDL recap, they were in the gallery and they were having a conversation, and she was talking about how her mom betrayed her, and Spencer was just relating to her and be like, yes, this is something we both have in common. Both of our parents have failed us, and having the conversation. They were just getting closer and closer and closer. And then finally she took the plunge. She got on her tippy toes and he bent his head and then they kissed and it was so sweet. And then the end of the episode. And then we got to the next episode and then they're still kissing. And then all of a sudden she's like, Nicholas, don't stop. And he's like, I have to stop.
Spencer, don't stop.
Spencer, right? I don't know. Like, it's so hard. Oh my god, the fact that he's named Nicholas is just hard. Okay, but anyway, in my mind, I was thinking, yeah, don't stop. But then I'm thinking her toes must be hurting, his neck must be hurting. Yes, let's go to the down. I mean, let's just keep it real. There's stuff like that be happening. And then I was like, okay, so they're gonna go and sit down on the bench so that they can rest and really get into it. But then, he's all, we got to save it for later. So I mean, that's cool. I like that he what's a revelation to me, and I don't know why I thought this, but she's like, why you don't want my first time to be in the gallery? I was like, that's her first time. I did not know.
Yeah, I think it was like a rewrite. Because,
Okay.
well, I mean, we don't ever know.
Yeah.
Like back when it was Asian Trina, before
Yeah.
before it was Sydney, like she had like I think given Jocelyn some condoms, but then
Right.
we never really saw her in a relationship. It was interesting because she didn't make it feel like it was a big deal that like Rory, like that she was going away with Rory. So it felt
Right.
like, oh, okay, well maybe because that's what I was
And
going
I
for.
thought her and Rory were about to get it on until Spencer popped up in her head. So
Right,
I just
right.
thought, she was okay. But I think that's cool that even if it's still her first time, she's still like really sexually aware and okay and comfortable with herself and being able to do that. So I think that was great.
I love that.
And
I want to
knowing,
say, oh, go ahead.
yeah, and then knowing Spencer's background, like Esme was his first, and it wasn't the best thing ever. I feel like their interaction together will be the real first time for both of them, which is
Yeah.
exciting.
There's something really special about like being in love for for your first time. And then I think something I really like, I have a lot of like complaints often about like some of the writing that's surrounding them as a couple, but I rarely have complaints about their interactions. It's kind of like the world surrounding Spencer and Trina. I'm like, what is going on in Port Charles? But when the two of them are together, there's something that's like really sweet that happens. I liked the callback. I liked that they went to the gallery. I like the callback to all of the ways that they know each other. I wonder if there's like an edit somewhere that like cuts like all of the things he talked about knowing about her with like
Mhm.
the things that we've seen them to go through on screen, like how he knows them if we've seen that.
Mhm.
I like that I like that Trina at first I was like, I don't like this. I don't like them doing like almost like propping Spencer when Spencer actually needs no propping.
Mhm.
But I then got to the point when I watched it for like the 15th time, I was like, oh, I really actually do like, to your point, Trina being like very comfortable and confident in herself.
Mhm.
And that is like, I think what we love about Trina is that she is like a self-assured young woman that takes charge. And this was like no different. And so it just like played to like the dynamics between them that I love the most. That Spencer can be kind of a jackass sometimes, but when it comes to Trina, like he stops all that and like he, can like really check himself. Um, and I did love the tippy toe moment, super cute. So yeah, I really loved like the kind of writing around it and like getting them to the place where they were to have the kiss. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was one of my. I also, and some I know we're having a controversial moment in the fandom where people are really thinking about whether or not Esme should be redeemed. And I know we've talked about this before as well
And
as
we're gonna talk about it later.
yes.
Yeah.
But even besides that, I actually really liked and appreciated Laura and Esme's birthing scene. I felt, well, maybe I appreciated more Laura's behavior because, and she was very caring to Esme, who she feels is a just someone that's out there on her own. She doesn't have a memory. She doesn't have her family. Her family's crazy, and everyone knows it now. And Laura just being very compassionate and caring and helping her through that birthing process. I thought it was sweet. I liked it. Regardless of how we all feel about Esme being redeemed at this moment, I felt that that scene, her and Kevin being really caring for Esme during this really stressful, crazy time, helping her give birth to her son, I liked it. There was another one. Sasha's confrontation with Heather was powerful. Again, actress doing really powerful scene, confronting the woman that killed her husband, kind of in a really sly way, pretending to be a lawyer, her lawyer, and trying to get Heather to confess something. You know, Heather being sly, didn't give anything up except saying, well, I've just been, I've had memory loss and I've been blacking out and blah, blah, blah. And Sasha put it together that she's going to try to fake insanity to get out like she usually does. And Sasha calling it out. What I thought was hilarious was that it was a really passionate scene where she was talking about how she's gonna give great testimony and she's gonna go in the news and she's gonna put Heather on blast every which way. And at the end, Dante comes in and he's like, yeah, so while I appreciate your testimony, you gotta go. I was like, what the hell? I was like, Dante's hilarious because he's probably seen all this stuff before and he's like, yeah, but you're doing something illegal, so you gotta go. He's still gonna be who he is, but he was, I don't know. I have a weird sense of humor, I guess, because I cracked up at that.
It was fun. I loved I loved Dante this week.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about Dante is how much he wants to like have sex with Sam. It's just like keep it up. Keep it up. Every time I see Dante, he is ready. He's like, oh, we taking a shower, we doing this, we doing that.
Yeah.
Let's go upstairs, go to the bed. Like, yes, keep it up, Dante. Give it to us. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, he got interrupted by this Sasha nonsense.
Yeah, everything Dante's been did this week, I loved.
Cool. I think those are some of my favorite moments. What about you outside of, agreeing about Dante being fabulous?
And the kiss.
Yes.
I think it was I actually really felt like it was a powerful moment with Kevin, like realizing that Ryan was dead. And like him
Yeah.
saying, I hope you find peace in this next life. I think that John Lindstrom is such a talented actor. He's so giving. I think he's also like a sweet man in real life. You know what I mean? Like it was he had like tweeted like a couple days ago or maybe a week ago that like he was like looking at GH to like watch his work, and then he just like shouted out Portia or like Brooke and Donnell. He is just like very sweet with his wife, and I think that a lot of just like the sweetness of who he is shows up in Kevin.
Mhm.
And the way that he's able to portray Kevin right now, because Kevin has not always been like this very sweet guy. If you go back to like Port Charles and some of that relationship with Lucy, and just like finding the moment of humanity to grieve Ryan, and have Felicia be with him when he did that. I really enjoyed that scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a great way to segue into my favorite performances because, yes, John Lindstrom got top billing for me this week, doing double duty as Crazy Ryan, and Kevin, the supportive husband slash OB slash grieving brother,
Uncle, new
uncle slash I need to protect my wife who's about to do something crazy. He was everything. He was just, giving it all. One of my favorite moments, the funny moment was, I think it was on Monday, like, He, like Laura was waiting on the docks, Ryan was on the island, Laura was waiting on the docks, and she's like, I gotta wait for Kevin, and here comes Kevin. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm on my way. Sorry for late. And I was laughing because he was just in the other scene, so I just thought it was like a little inside joke, like he had to
Yeah.
run from one set to the next.
Yeah.
So I thought it was hilarious. But it just goes to show his range, his
Mhm.
skill. I don't, has he gotten an Emmy before? Because I think he definitely deserves.
Oh, it's a good
I
question. I'll look it up. Keep talking.
Yeah, he deserves to get all the awards for this season of work. Playing double duty and everything, getting to Ava in the way that he does, everyone coming to the realization that he has been the evil mastermind for this whole plot and how it has affected everyone. I have so much props, and I agree. I mean, he sounds like a wonderful human being. Every tweet that I see from him, though, is mainly, and as I'm not hating on it, I'm loving it. It's mainly about his wife and how much he loves her, and
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
oh my God. And it's so amazing, and I almost feel like they are like, for me, kind of like the iconic soap opera actor couple. If there was a couple to be had in this real world soap opera acting, I think it's them because they are so loving for each other and to each other and promoting each other's work.
Mhm.
It's great. So yay, John Lindstrom. I want to meet you. I think you're an amazing person. I want to meet you and JPS. And of course, Dominic.
Well, obviously. No, there's gonna be Vanna Live in Sacramento.
Man Alive.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Another one?
It's gonna be. Well, they didn't do it in Sacramento before,
Oh
so it's
yeah,
gonna
but
be
they
Finola and JPS in Sacramento. So we'll just go.
nice. Great. My other of course, Mora West.
Oh God,
And
amazing!
oh my God, amazing. The scenes that I love the best are the ones she had with Nicholas Chavez telling him about, Ryan. And I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so. And I hope they become best friends. I hope they're like like Spencer and Mora become friends the way Spencer and Ava become friends the way that Ava and Trina are. I hope
I
that.
don't think that's gonna happen
But
since Ava killed Nicholas.
I hope that just doesn't come out. I just feel like I just want that to be something that we know and nobody else knows. Like, I'm still thinking that his body is not going to be there when they try to go retrieve it. And there's just going to be some sort of, Cassadine shenanigan where maybe, Helena's still alive and she went to get her grandson or something. I don't know. But I'm just hoping that that's just her confrontation with Nicholas is just something that we all know about, nobody else does, and she has to deal with. Fine.
I
That's
would
me.
love that. I would love that.
And
I
then
mean, let's just talk about
finally,
more
I just
West.
have one more person, of course. Still have to give props to Brooke Kerr and her performance this week in confronting or having to be confronted by
Taggart.
Taggart. I still thought it was amazing. And shout out again, Black General Hospital. I see you, Lee Andrews, talking about point blank, point, whatever. I was like, point blank, period. Black, that was black him. That was him being black. I bet you that was ad libbed.
That's funny. So I do want to say something about More West.
Right.
What I appreciated was like the nuance of the performance and like how hard it was for her to portray Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's like always that with their dynamic. It's like she cares about Spencer, but she always has to betray him for like self-preservation. So the first time it was like for her face and for her vanity, and this time it's for her freedom. And so I think that they have like a very interesting dynamic and like these two characters who kind of orbit each other. And I think that Mora plays it so well, having the secret from him, while still very much, despite everything that's happened from him, caring about him. Even like the delivering the news of Ryan and like his role and everything, just like there was like a compassion there when she was talking about him. and talking to him. So I just really appreciated that. And then of course, Brooke Carr forever, obviously. Obviously.
Obviously. Amazing. Shout out to the outfit she was working. The sweatshirt that Trina, I guess, gave her. I was like, all right, but I love it. And the tights that she had on or whatever, exercise pants. She looked great. I was
Always. She's so beautiful.
I was very jealous. So
Um Moment, what worked for you? What was working for you this week?
Ava and Felicia were working for me this week.
Yeah.
I was like, first, these are my notes. Ava and Felicia, basically all the vets just working for me this week. But really, Felicia, loved her interaction with Ava and even, with Austin. I think she's amazing and great. So yay, Christina Wagner. Thank you for coming back and being you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I've loved her. I love Felicia. I've loved the way she's played her.
Mhm.
What's working for me? Shockingly, I'm ready to be a Jex shipper. I know. I know. Mostly because I typically like I don't know anything about Dex. So like
Right.
I love Joss, period. Obviously, Carly's daughter, like really, love Eden's portrayal of Joss. Um, but like in order for me to like really like a couple, like there has to be, I think, something there more for like the male character. Because we just don't know enough about Dex. Like he's kind of a mystery to us. But their scenes, like them like kind of trying to figure it out together. Like I appreciated that between them. I think their chemistry is great. Um, I want them to have like a better story that's not around Sunny, but I do think that it is one of the better stories on the show, if that's saying something. Um,
I mean,
but
I
yeah, I mean, I like their chemistry together. I
uh-huh.
liked him bringing her into their plan. I see kind of in the future a little bit of what their like what their dynamic is going to be, what their barriers are going to be. And the Kim is the Kim, and they're doing it for me.
I like checks. I don't. I'm kind of iffy about their scenes this week, only because it kind of felt like very youthful, young, star-crossed lover thing, which I don't really see. I feel like he's too mature or old for that. I mean, I could totally hear Jocelyn saying, I don't want to do anything but be with you. And him's like, his life is on the line. And he's like, I don't care what happens as long as I'm with you. I'm like,
That's
really?
what I like.
I'm like, really? I'm just like, I don't know. But I mean, sure. I mean, that's great. I mean, all I know is I would rather stay alive. And if I have to leave, you could come with me. But if I need to leave in order to stay alive, I'm going to leave because Sonny's about to
Yeah.
kill somebody.
It's
But
There's something that I always will love about a man willing to risk it all. Like that is like, that's my that's one of my tropes. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So despite like how ridiculous it sounds at some points, I'm like, give me more. I love it. Oh, you don't care about your life because you love this girl? Yes, do it, give it to me. Like that's
I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right then. I was like, she must be
you're
putting it
like, could you
on.
stay alive? And I'm like, risk your life some more. Tell her more, you know what I'm saying? But
She's
yeah, like, it's the like that's the part for me that like I will risk my life to be here with you right now. Like that's how much I have to have you. Like that's like my trope. And so when it was that so clearly like laid out this week, and I was wondering how long he was going to be lying to her. I mean, he's still lying about the Michael piece, but he also has like said like I'll tell you. And so all of that I loved it. I'm here. I'm here with you. I'm here for the story. I was holding out for a minute because again, I don't even know this Dex.
Right, we still don't know this Dex.
I don't even know this
He's like,
Dex.
everything I told you is true. Like, you haven't said very much, dude. So,
No, no, he's not.
right,
Listen, and that's the thing. Josh don't know much about him, but
right.
she do know what those sheets feel like. So, you know what I mean? And I love that for her.
Okay.
I actually love that as a story. Like I feel like, what I like about Sprina is like the romance. And what I like about them is like the danger. And I think that for me, I need all kinds of couples to be engaged on a show. Like I would rather watch a show where I pretty much like either I like everybody or I'm indifferent to people. Um I don't have to like ship everybody or want everybody together like that are like the couples that are presented, but I like to watch a show where I don't like strongly dislike a couple. And so
Yeah.
I think I like both of them for what they are. Obviously, like have been on we've been on the Sprina ship for since the very very beginning, probably before
Right.
Nicholas was even cast. We were like, oh, they're bringing back somebody for Cindy. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, Trina and Spencer, let's do it. Like we've always been on that ship. And I love how they're playing the romance of it.
Mhm.
Um, and I love how this is like playing the danger and the like physical attraction that's so strong that like I'm a risk it all. And I think that all of that is needed. And it's interesting. I think that social media has, I don't see everything, but I see a little bit of like them being pitted against each other. And I'm like, they're not the same kind of couple. There's no competition. Like there's not, like there's just no reason to pit them against each other. And I actually think we need both
Yeah.
of them. Like they both are like necessary couples and they hit different tropes.
Yeah. Sometimes I think these, couple competitions are going way too much for me. I'm just like, that's one couple, that's another couple. They both have
Yeah.
their strengths. It's great. Like, yeah, let it be.
I love Vanna. I love Sante. I love Sprina. I'm coming more and more into really liking Jax. Like I
Yeah.
want to like a lot of couples on the show. Like I
Yeah.
enjoy that.
I like Jax. I do. It was just weird. The speech, the star-crossed love and over my life thing was a bit much for me, but I love that they love each other.
I
I'm
don't
happy.
even know if they said they loved each other yet, but
Oh
here we
yeah, they haven't even said that, huh?
go.
That's even worse. Let me like at least love.
This is the Libra and me. I'm like, yes, give it to me. You gotta risk your life for this. Like that.
For some good sex. All right.
I've got Dex sprung. Who knew? Go,
It's
go, girl.
so what
Like,
oh
go ahead. What's not working for you?
okay. What is never ever working for me? Cody. And I thought it was hilarious where you were talking about nothing else happened. He
That's
happened.
so
Damn
funny.
it. He happened. He was there. I mean, that what didn't work. I mean, I'm appreciative that he's trying to save Sasha from something, I guess. But that does not mean that um Sam should forgive this dude, right? That was
No,
the thing that I did not
no.
like. So she was like, you've done these bad things, but I guess you're okay. No, he's not okay. He's not. He's a horrible person, and I don't like him. Sam, you need to have it for him 100% on site all the time.
Always.
I was really expecting her to kick him out after Dante left. I was like, all right, you can go now. But no, she invited him for a coffee, tea, or whatever. And they have this conversation, which I really did not need to happen. So, ew, boo, ew, don't like it.
Mhm.
That's one. But let's toggle back and forth. What was one what you didn't appreciate?
Just like in general, I don't appreciate like just like the ending of stories happening too soon. So like if you read so in Soap Opera Digest, Becky Hertz was like talking about the story with like Nicholas and the fake pregnancy, and she was like, yeah, I thought that was gonna go longer. I was like, me too, girl. Like, me too. Um, we got like the spoiler, like the February suit spoiler. They were like, Windermere will be running with blood. So
Who?
Nicholas maybe died and Ryan died. That's not who else. Just send somebody over there and make them die. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I was thinking,
Some
like,
light
oh,
bleeding from the birth, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, right. I'm just like, I was expecting a few deaths. Like, what is this? I just, I feel, yeah, that just, and then there's like also the kind of like dropping stories and not even like, and you know, it's a soap opera, so stories are gonna drop or whatever. But there's like the dropping stories and then not even like coming back to make up for them. That's
Yeah.
just all not working for me.
Yeah, to go along with it, I was thinking about, well, one, and we can talk more in depth about this, but Sona wasn't working for me.
Oh
So
God.
the reason why I was thinking about it was I was thinking about Liesel, right? Last time we checked, Liesel gave a very weak talking down to Carly.
Mhm,
Carly lets her go and talk to Willow.
mhm.
Liesel and Willow connect for like 5 minutes, right? We don't know what happened with that
Right,
conversation, right?
right.
Did Liesel ask Willow to meet with Nina? Did she talk more about the family? What happened with that?
More pictures of James and
Right.
talking about
Or,
more. Yeah.
you know, nothing. It was just a very brief blip. And so I'm just like, okay, so now Liesel got to spend 5 minutes with Willow and that's it. She's not mad anymore. Or does even Nina know that Liesel got to talk with Willow and she didn't?
Mhm,
Is there a conversation about that gonna happen? Like, I'm sure Nina will be pissed when she finds that out. That everybody and their mama gets to see Willow, but Nina. I don't care how Nina feels about it, but I know she will be pissed. And so, like, what that whole thing was just kind of dropped, and it seemed really weird to me. Um, but moving
I
forward,
mean, if we're doing some Sona hate, I got it.
oh
In the
yeah, go ahead, girl. I'll tag in if you got more.
I got it. So Drew and Nina scene. Girl. So like she like kind of showed up and was like, oh, now like she's at the house. Like it's Nina has never done anything or said anything that would make somebody like Willow want to be around her. And it's so fascinating, and I will talk about this a little bit more in redemption arcs, like even how anyone could have sympathy for Nina because like she's not sympathetic. Because like there are characters who I can have some sympathy for in a moment, even if I don't like them. There's nothing that Nina has done that made me want to have sympathy for her. She's talking to Drew. She's like, "Well, you forgave Carly, sis. You're in a whole relationship that shouldn't have been forgiven. You think that what Carly did with Willow is worth to what you did with Sunny? You literally kept this man away from his family. And one of the worst things about Sona is that they keep trying to pretend like the only thing that is just about Carly and her kids. That like there was no impact on Donna, there was no impact on Avery, there was no impact on like Christina or Dante or anybody else who cared about him. Everybody else is just forgiven and forgot, and Carly and her kids were just the big bads. If you would have actually told a complete story, you could have moved Sona and given them like you could have moved them to the next level, but you didn't. As far as Sunny Corinthos, there is such a like it's clear that the line between Sunny and Mo is so interesting. So I wanted to like read because the official GH had tweeted something about the scenes that Michael and Sunny had. And so someone responded, and these are just tweets I'm reading. Someone responded, Sunny's failure to value Michael's pain, losing Willow, and that Michael's only respecting Willow's decision, not actively blocking Nina, makes Sunny unsympathetic. Considering how Willow has continued to reach out to Sunny, it's even worse that Sunny is trying to ignore her wishes. This is a tweet. Maurice Bernard wasn't even tagged in this, so he must have just been like looking at the like comments. So he wrote, but Michael wanting to destroy Sunny for 6 months is all right. Please help me understand. He said that. Nobody said that. As a matter of fact, most people think that that story is very annoying. As a matter of fact, Chad thinks that story is very annoying.
Right.
He,
And first of all,
nobody,
Sunny's supposed to not know about that.
and Sunny is supposed to not know about that. That's the biggest piece. Thank
Right.
you. Thank you. What are you talking about? And like the fact that this is the way. So we were in a Zoom, the Jack Zoom with Eden and Evan, obviously. And Eden was talking about how difficult it was for her to find the character. It was funny because I was like, it was fine for me. But she was talking about how difficult it was for her to like understand Jocelyn's like reasoning for asking Cam to keep her relationship with Dex quiet. She was like, I couldn't even really sympathize with that. And me, I was like, oh God, he should have gone first. But like, I feel like the young actors, like I've heard Nicolas Chavez do this. Like he's talking about, like, yeah, you know, I'll be rooting for Spencer, but Spencer be on some bullshit sometimes. Like they're really clear about like the positions that their characters are in.
Mm-hmm.
But like the fact that Mo like thinks that Sunny is correct, it like tells you everything about why the story is being played that way.
Shout out to also Laura Wright. Laura Wright is very cognizant of Carly and
Yeah.
acting up. For all you Carly haters out there who think that Laura is running this show and Carly's everything, no. Laura Wright knows when Carly's acting scandalous. And she's also, you know, I don't know what is going on with Maurice Bernard, but what I hated a lot with his scene with Michael was the very end was like, whatever happens next is on you. As if one, Michael is forcing Willow to not see Nina. That's not happening. Two, as if it's Michael's fault that Nina and Willow doesn't get along. That's not happening. And three, are you threatening your own son right now? I mean, like, are you really? Is this none of them? And like Sunny could be doing this instead of saying, "Why aren't you letting Nina see Willow?" Blah blah blah. He could have been like, "What do you need? Can we support you in it? Can we bring you food? Can we do this? Can we do that? How can we support you?" And in doing all of that, being supportive instead of antagonistic, then maybe Willow will see, oh, okay, well, they're really just trying to be supportive with me right now. Let me at least thank them. You know, that's what Willow would probably do. And Michael would probably tell Willow what all the things that, you know, Nina and Michael are doing, or Nina and Sunny are doing. But instead of they're doing that, they're being hella antagonistic. And then Nina was like, oh, so you're the same as Carly. So then you deserve all of whatever. I was like, really? He deserves all the mess you're about to put down just because he's not hating on Carly right now? I'm like, these people are crazy and they're acting really self-absorbed, selfish. And that's why the whole world in GH world and Tanya's world hates them.
I mean, I think that it's also this thing that happens when you like a character and a couple, and I'm guilty of it too, so it's not shade, but it's like, I mean, it's a little bit of shade towards myself too, that like when a story is not good, you have to say a story is not good. Or when your character is acting a fool, like, so what continues to happen is that people are like defending Nina and Sunny in this situation when what they're doing is indefensible. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so when you like somebody, instead of just being like, yeah, this is like fucked up writing for my fave or whatever, they're like, no. Willow's a bitch for not talking to Nina. And that's not actually what happened. Carly is not the reason that Willow and Nina hate each other, or that like Willow hated and I appreciated in that scene with Drew, what he said was, Willow didn't change, or like, you changed, Willow didn't change.
Yeah, Willow did. Yeah.
You like, and that's the thing. Nina has been searching out like Willow her whole life. Like she's been searching out her daughter her whole life. That's not Willow's reality. So finding out you are her mother does not change for her what it changes for you. And it's the ownership that Nina feels over her that like makes it a problem. So even when she was like mad that she was like, well, why is Willow not fighting? Why, like this like judgment she's passing on her, which has always been the judgment she's passed on Willow.
Always. She always judges everything Willow does.
Always. But it's like when it's like these people are rich. So like let's not pretend like moving someone home means that like she can't still get care. But it's also like you're mad she went home because you don't have the access to run up in her room like she's asked you to stay away from her.
Mm-hmm.
So you showed up to GH to like go and like force yourself on her again after she had told you she didn't want to see you. And now you're mad because there's like security at the Quartermains
Mm-hmm.
and won't let you do that. Are we watching the same show? So
We
then
are.
I wanted to like also, this is the second tweet I found of Maurice Bernard. So somebody replied to the tweet that I just read back from him. And they said, if Sonny wasn't constantly betraying Michael at every turn, things wouldn't have progressed this far. Historically, Michael suffers because of Sonny's choices, and this is no different. So Maurice Bernard replied, so you think Sonny tried to make it work with Michael in the last 6 months? What more does Sonny have to do? Get on his knees and beg and plead?
All Sonny has to do is leave Michael alone.
But the other thing is like Michael was softening towards Sonny at the hospital.
Yes.
Michael stops softening towards Sonny when he brings Nina into it.
Mm-hmm. Like
And
he like if Michael was really on point with his hatred, Sonny would not have been able to stay in the room. Like as soon as he walked into that little Sonny little, I don't know what they call that plant room. I don't know, but it was beautiful. The new.
yes, yes.
As soon as Michael walked into that new set, he could have said, "You need to leave," but he didn't. He listened to him, heard him out, and still,
Yeah. They still Sonny continues to like put himself in with Nina when he's like, we can't see our grandkids. Actually, they've never said that you can't see them kids.
we
They
said,
said Nina couldn't see them kids.
right.
And so you haven't even like you brought like Donna over to like essentially make Nina happy, but you didn't bring Donna over to like with you to see, you know what I'm saying? Just like, and I know that like there's rules about the babies and the kids, but and so like some of that's like not storyline dictated, but it shows up as being storyline dictated. So yeah, it's just like for me was like these people don't get it. And what I hate, and this will get a little bit more, but I hate that they continue to write people so unrootable and then expect people to root for them. Don't write people like this. Like folks are just not, yeah, they continue to write them as so unrootable, so unlikable. Um, with no redeeming quality. Like I don't feel bad for Nina in this
I don't
at
either.
all.
There was one thing that she did, which I kind of felt sorry for her, but then I also felt like it was a stupid move when she came into the hospital room to visit Willow and gave and said, I'll give you this, necklace because it really wasn't for me. It was supposed to be for you. Now I understood Nina's sentiment behind it, but I still think it was stupid because Willow and her sister did not get along.
Right.
The last thing Willow wanted is a reminder of the sister that tried to kill her and steal her baby and all this good stuff. That's not something she wants. And so, but I did feel sorry for her, Nina, because she was visibly hurt by it. And I was like, oh, she tried to do something that wasn't about her, but it was stupid. But still, that was the only thing that actually I felt like Nina was trying to do something and was rebuffed. But I also feel like she's expecting way too much from Willow. Even if Willow is on her deathbed, that doesn't mean that Willow has to forgive her and want her in her life. Willow's going to want people who she trusts, who she knows cares about her, And that's all anyone who is really ill wants around them. And
Yeah.
so for Nina to feel like she can push her way into that is really, selfish, self-centered, naive, all of the things.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
'cause on
yeah,
her, it's like not even like you could write a letter and drop it off. You could,
right.
whatever, but like you continue to try to push and make it about you, and that's just not the move.
Mhm.
So, anyway, what else do you have that's not working?
Let's see. I already did Cody. Uh,
Evergreen.
we talked about Summoner and Lisa. Yeah, those were the things that weren't working for
Well,
me.
the other thing, and I wanted to start this into like a bigger conversation. The other thing that's not working for me is this like redemption arc for Esme.
Okay, yeah.
So I wanted to talk just like about like what are some of your favorite redemption arcs? What do you think of redemption arcs? Part of like how I started just saying, I think redemption arcs are like an interesting like plot device.
Mhm.
And it's not that all redemption arcs are not, oh, okay, you did something awful. You have to go through this arc and now you're like a good character. Redemption arcs for me are about how do you make someone suitable enough to like have interactions with other people. You know what I'm saying? Like to make it make sense that they are still around, still on the canvas, still in town, that people are not constantly trying to kill them, like, whatever. And I think the other piece that's interesting, I think the use of redemption arcs, especially in soaps, is so different now because back in the day, more people wanted to be on soaps. So if it was the 90s or whatever or 80s at the height of soapdom, you could be a villain, go to jail, be gone for like a year and a half, 2 years, and then come back because you would want to come back into this role. And I think with a character and like an actress like Avery, for example, GH doesn't feel like they can like let her go to like prison or whatever it would be to like humble her or to like punish her, and that she would be available to come back because soaps are not the like jobs they used to be. um and so anyway, I think that about and I also think that everything doesn't need a redemption arc. I think that like consequences, for example, are not like a redemption arc. Redemption arcs actually take something like bigger and it's actually like a storyline. um so yeah, just like throughout soaps, I would love to hear like what has been like some of your favorite redemption arcs and what do you think about them.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, I don't think that I think there's a possibility for any character to be redeemed if it is done right. So I think I equate as Esme to be kind of on par with Maxie, how she was back in the day. Like Maxie had done some pretty shady shit, right? And she she wasn't necessarily, she didn't do anything that necessarily would have gotten her in jail per se, but she has done some really sketchy stuff that would make her kind of be enemy um to those that are living around her. But I think what they did was, it wasn't like she wasn't immediately forgiven, I don't think. I think she had suffered, like I said, she'd suffered some consequences. She lost her child, she had to fight to get the child back, she's lost all her husbands. I mean, she's just like, she's gone through some shit. And people still love her and care for her. And I'm like, okay, that's great. It's definitely possible to be done with Esme, but like I said before, Esme needs to be confronted with what she did to Trina and to Jocelyn and to Cameron. Like she really needs to be confronted with that, wrestle with how wrong she was, have some sort of consequence, whether she's going to jail or she's just shunned by all the teens and she's constantly fighting to get in the mix. That needs to happen. That needs to be played out and really in a serious way. And so really it's not necessarily up to Avery Pohl to redeem her character. It's up to GH to make her feel the consequences of her actions, write it out so it's well written, and we all see that she understands what she did and she's she's going to atone for it in some way. That I would not have a problem with. Some of the ideas floating around that people have for her is what I think is kind of crazy. Like Cameron falling in love with her, or something, just some real stuff that doesn't make sense to me in my mind. I don't know if I agree with it, but we'll see how it happens. So I liked Maxie. I liked Ava. Ava again, gone through some really crazy shit, and she's not necessarily redeemed. She's still doing bad things, but
Mm-hmm.
still like her character enough to want to see her. And so she's not necessarily redeemed, but she's still on the canvas. And that could happen with Esme too. So, I mean, we could still keep actors and actresses on the canvas without having them go through some sort of miracle redemption that makes no sense whatsoever. And so another one, I guess another character, and I don't think he's necessarily redeemed as well, but Valentine. He's like one of my favorite evil people. He and Ava are like my favorite. If GH lets them go, I don't know if I'd still watch, right? Frankly. But they're still on the canvas. They've suffered from some of the things that they've done. They've also grown, but they're not like totally 100%, angels. And so those are the type of, character arcs that I like, that I enjoy from quote unquote bad people.
Yeah, I mean, so I would be honest. I want Esme dead. Um, like I just like there's no redemption for me for her. If you want Avery around so bad, give her a twin. Um, I think I think for redemption arcs, there's like a couple of things that like matter for me. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean and like having somebody being redeemed for me doesn't mean anything for the show. And I
Right.
think that one of the things that's happening with Esme that makes me so angry is how lazy it is and
Mhm.
how they're like playing upon like the worst parts of like human psychology from the audience to like redeem her, like white woman tears and like this
Right.
idea of innocence. And that is why it's one of the reasons why I think there are people who like sympathize with Nina but hate Carly, because people want to see women characters in order to feel redeemed, like broken down. Like you have to be broken down to like the basis level to like for people to be like, okay, this thing happened for you. Like you've been shunned, you've cried, like they've like one of the ways they redeem women is like making them lose babies or get raped. Like these are like the things that like shows have done to redeem women, redeem in that in quotes for people who are listening. I think for Esme, what is particularly difficult, and they did not anticipate how difficult for some members of the audience it would be, is that you actually don't get to do all that shit to a black girl, and they should have thought about that. And
Mhm.
and it wasn't just that she did it; it was that she did it with glee.
Right.
It was that like even this whole idea that they're trying to rewrite, like, oh my gosh, she was so like manipulated by Ryan. But the thing that she did to Trina
Wasn't
was
in the
that
plan.
Ryan told her not to do. He was mad that she did it.
Right.
And so she was just like, yeah, I don't care if Trina goes to jail. I want her to go to jail. I don't care if like Jocelyn's humiliated. I want her to be humiliated. And then we saw her like laughing and making like, like evil villain faces behind doing it. There was no like remorse. There was no like, well, they picked on me, so I had to, and in my childhood I was picked on, and so therefore I have to like do this, right? There was no like pulling back from like some backstory. It was all like just evil shit. And Sandra had said this. Sandra was like, Esme had always been like the bad seed who then sought out Ryan. Like it wasn't, we don't know anything about her past, but it feels like she was like not like she was already a difficult kid. Like we already got like this. We don't know what happened to her parents. We don't know what happened to the sibling. She doesn't talk to anybody but this nanny. And then all of a sudden, she like searches out Ryan. So for me, I don't even compare her with Maxie because Maxie is Frisco and Felicia's kid raised by Mac. That's legacy on legacy on legacy. So I have more grace for like longer term legacy characters who do something bad in the midst of other stories. Because like yeah, of course we remember like Maxie having Lucky sell his ass for pills, but them that's not the only thing that we know about Maxie. We also have BJ's heart. We also have her being part of other things. With a character like Esme, all we really know is like she came in on this like negative tip. So for a character like her, I think that the laziness of the redemption arc, the like, we're gonna use Laura to like prop her and to keep saying she's a victim. We're gonna have Trina like forgive or like kind of have some sympathy towards her. We're gonna have Cameron be like, "Oh, what do you think?" Like we're gonna have these characters, treat her or her condition as like, oh, all things may be forgiven if she doesn't remember. And I just think that's really lazy. And
Almost similar to Franco.
yes.
And the thing is that the actor himself so compelling. I don't know. He wasn't necessarily redeemed either, except for by the love of Elizabeth, and he had to do some stuff to
Mhm.
get forgiven, right? I think they're probably trying to do that same thing with Esme because I'm hearing rumors that she may not be Ryan's daughter. I'm
Yeah,
hearing rumors that they're trying to make her be somebody else's daughter. And so it's like they're trying different things because they do want to keep Avery. And so yeah, and that tip on that point, you're right. It's very lazy for me. And again, yeah, it's particularly what you said about, what she did to Trina as a black woman. I would really, really appreciate it if GH actually tackled that subject. Um, and have her really, really do some learning about, white woman privilege and how she played into that. Are they ever going to do that? Probably not. And which is a shame because it could be really, really special. And I think Avery as an actress could actually handle that too.
I think so too. I think
But
that they're just not interested in telling more nuanced stories in that way. I mean, we see it in the story for Brooklyn, where they basically have made like, first of all, they're barely telling it, but like they've made Chase like the focal point of like this Me Too story, where he is like the good guy, and Brooklyn is like this like person who kind of like co-signs a woman being harassed.
Mhm.
Um, or where this could have actually been an empowering story for Brooklyn.
Mhm.
Like, and I also think that we see it show up in, I mean, it's just like all these other stories that we see them like not tackle nuance. Like we don't see the nuance in any part of Sasha's story. We don't see any nuance in, I mean, like that's why most of us are kind of tired of the Willow story. Like there's just like no nuance there. I think it could have been more compelling, and not and I actually think that it's really difficult to tell this story about around abortion and pregnancy in this day and age written by men.
Mhm.
um but it also would have been different if Willow wouldn't have found out about the leukemia until the baby, like until she was like much further into her pregnancy. Like there I really, it just, they lack nuance. You know what I'm saying? They lack a lot of nuance when it comes to telling story. And so I think that that's why they'll lack nuance with telling any kind of race story when it comes to Esme. Um,
Mhm.
I'll also say that I don't think everybody, like some characters like never go through redemption arcs. Liesel never really did. Especially not one that like is on the level of what she did to Robin and Anna. Um, I think about other soaps, like it's also like the time in which things happened. So like I remember on All My Children, Greenlee like literally threw a girl overboard for flirting with Leo, like overboard her ship. Like
Mhm.
she didn't have to like, so that is like a thing. So that's one thought. And then I also think that what redemption looks like for men is a separate thought, because men are allowed to do things that this is why Sunny has been such a popular character for so long. Like
Mhm.
I sometimes I go back and look at old stuff that Sunny did, and I'm like, whoa, can't believe we ever liked this guy. Like, or you know what I'm saying? Because it was like super abusive, but we didn't name it that way 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So if you just started watching GH, say like 3 years ago you started watching GH, you actually wouldn't know the Sonny who shot Carly in the head, or who
Right.
humiliated Claudia Zakara, or all of these other reasons that people have feelings about Sonny. You would kind of know the tail end of him as a mobster. You would know Nixon Falls, and you would know now.
But even now, torturing Dex was pretty brutal. And even though he didn't do it, he knew about it. It
He tried
really
to
didn't
pretend
do
like he
anything.
didn't.
He pretend, yeah, but he didn't. He knew about it and really didn't do anything about it.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, he pretended like he didn't know Lil Cut was gonna cut, and
Right.
then he like allowed Nina to believe that Michael was a bad person for like lying on him when he was like actually Michael was actually telling the
Oh,
truth.
the truth. Right.
And I don't know if they remember these things, but the audience does.
Mhm.
And so, when we look at why Nina, or like why Nina might feel a way about Michael, like this plays into it, and Sonny has like let the lie go. I'd also say, like, I think about a character like Julian Jerome, for example, where I think part of the reason they weren't able to really redeem Julian after like the Alexis stuff is because Julian was constantly being like shunned and being like the lesser than to Sonny.
Mhm.
I actually wonder if people saw him as like an alpha man, in these gross terms, if like what redemption looked like would have been different for him. It was that he was just always also getting like kind of treated like a little bitch by Sonny. That it was like, I think was part of like what was hard for him.
Yeah. And I don't know. But I think another thing is the wrong that he did to Alexis, because I think his love for Alexis was what redeemed him in some of the audience's eyes. And as soon as he did something that heinous to that person, that was it for a lot of fans, you know.
Yeah,
That
for
went
sure.
that was a step too far.
Yeah. I mean, I think it also depends on like what you see live and like see played out versus like what you've read about or what you've heard about or what you've experienced on video. So like I think about a character like Sam, who, if you're I don't hate that Liz fans never forgave Sam for Jake getting kidnapped. Like, I get that. Like, if Liz is your fave and this happened, for me, I'm like, Liz, you should have been watching your kids, girl. But like, they really, for the audience, I think they really tried to ruin Sam after that because they had her do that. Then they had her like seduce Lucky. Where I don't know if you remember, like basically Nicholas was like begging her, like, please don't seduce Lucky. And Sam was like, no, I'm getting him in his hot tub. I don't know anything about what you talking about. Like,
Right. Like Nicholas had a leg to stand on anyway, but whatever.
right. But it was like, he or they really tried to like kind of ruin Sam's character. And part of the way that Sam like redeemed herself was like saving Jake, and like they like humbled her. I
Mhm.
loved when Sam was on a tear, when she was like telling the whole town they can kiss her ass. I loved it. And I love Carly, but when she was like, Carly's like you too. Like, I loved it.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, but they like redeemed her on the other side of it. But like to some audience members, like, you're never gonna be able to get over somebody doing that to your fave.
Mhm.
Um, I wasn't watching live for the Ava Morgan situation. So I didn't really know Ava like that. So
Right.
I had stopped watching. I kept watching a little bit through YouTube with the Cassadine stuff. So I'd watch like a little bit of like Nicholas, like with his like Tyler Christopher's like kind of last leg and last arc. I kept up with Spencer because it's my child. So I was like keeping up with him on YouTube.
Mhm.
Um but I didn't watch that stuff live. So I didn't start watching again until Jason came back. So until Steve Burton came back. So you know how you sit down with people and you're like getting caught up. So I'm with Sandra and I'm getting caught up, and I was like, Sandra, where's Morgan?
He know he gone.
Like, oh, he did, and like explained it to me.
Right.
I was done with Ava. I couldn't even be bothered. I was like, don't want to see nothing about you. Don't care. You're over it. And then it took the like length of her redemption arc for me to be like, okay, this is enough. Like, but her redemption arc was like having to date a serial killer
Hmm.
and like having her daughter murdered. Like that, like that's a hell of an arc.
Yeah. So, it was a
And then
lot.
you think about like you brought up Valentine, you think about Valentine. I remember even one of the first times he was like redeemed to me in my eyes was when Anna had to like stop him from taking Charlotte.
Hmm.
So like if you think about it, like other people are always part of folks' redemption arc. So like Trina is a part of Ava's redemption arc.
Hmm.
Anna central to Valentine's. But they actually told story. And with Esme, what it seems like is that one, she's done so much awful stuff that there was no thought process in like making sure that it wasn't so heinous that like we could get over it.
Hmm.
And they're just throwing all the tropes. They're throwing white girl tears, they're throwing beloved Laura, they're throwing all of these other things into like just rushing it through. And again, like the worst reactions from people, which is, oh my god, poor Esme. Oh, like people having this sympathy for her that they would only have for like a pretty white girl.
It'd be interesting though, because it seems like she's starting to remember some stuff. So
Yeah.
see how that plays out. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you for indulging my um
No.
curiosity about how you feel about redemption arcs. I'm also
Yeah.
just thinking about other ones like I don't know if you watch Bridgerton,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember I hated Anthony at the end of season one. I was like, I'll never like
Me
him.
too.
Oh, and
I
then
could not stand him, and I still couldn't stand him a little bit in the beginning.
season
Season
10, and
two.
I was like, and I just like started melting. It was like every episode I melted a little bit more. I was like,
Right.
oh, and then at the end, I was like, "Oh, Anthony is my favorite." I don't know what you ever meant. I've loved him always.
Love has a way of redeeming people.
When you got that Anthony Kim, you can't help it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. That's good. One of the you don't. I know you don't watch Bold and Beautiful, right? But everybody, I mean, like Brooke, the main person on the show, is seen as a heroine, but she's the most scandalous person I've ever seen in my life. She's like, no, Erica Kane isn't as evil as that. She's just Brooke is just crazy, sleeping with daddy's uncle sons and being hypocritical about it. It's like everyone else is wrong but her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the thing I forgot, and I know that we've kind of beaten this a lot, but I do want to say, I think the other part of redemption is also what else is happening in the story and what else
Right.
is happening in the show and in the world of the show.
Yeah.
So, like All My Children, for example, you could have a Greenlee because your main character was Erica Kane.
Right.
Like you did, like it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, like, so if you have somebody who is like as iconic as Erica Kane, as messy as Erica Kane being like your main, then
Yeah.
like you can't have a bunch of timid girls walking around because Erica Kane is the main.
Right.
And I think with specifically with GH's young adult scene, they were so Disneyfied.
Mhm.
Like they literally were about to like watch Jungle Cruise on their night. You know what I mean? Like none of them drank. We don't ever revisit that Jocelyn has like a kidney situation, so she shouldn't drink. But
Right.
like, nobody was even like knew enough to be like, Trina shouldn't be this drunk off of a half of a hot toddy. You know what I'm saying? Like they were so Disney-fied. So to have someone come and like break them up in that way was really different than like, say for example, Maxie, the way Maxie and Lulu were running through and
Right.
like terrorizing and terrorizing the streets of Port Charles because and people were they were telling more like adult
Right.
sexualized stories, and so it'd be. I mean, I'm still gonna feel the way I feel about race, but it would also be a little bit easier to like take that
Mhm.
if like the scene, so like the Bold and the Beautiful. I don't watch it, but my assumption is like that the show, like people are doing trifling shit all over the place in the show, and so Brooke is like just one of the people who's trifling.
Well, just one. Yeah. Sheila is undergoing somewhat of a redemption arc. And Sheila is like the bad baddie.
Mm,
So it's interesting. Sheila is a baddie across two soaps. So it's like she's bad and Young and the Restless and on Bold and the Beautiful. And
okay,
yet now she's married to one of the wealthier, handsome characters on the show and just living
y'all like Sheila.
her best life. So she saw her own son is still living her best life. So kind of like Sunny. But hey.
What a segue. I don't have any hot takes, but do you have any? Zero hot takes.
I have, let's see, what do I have? Let me just look over because some stuff I put as hot takes and some stuff I talk about in our segment. So
Yeah, me too. Same thing. But I
yeah,
talked about everything that I had.
right. Um, yeah, the Curtis and Portia
Oh,
discussion.
I do have something about that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just like, oh, throughout the conversation with Curtis, I kept thinking about how such a hypocrite he is. Like he's like so unforgivable about a lie, but you're lying right now. He's like some things are just unforgivable. Dude, you're sitting in the place where your biggest lie is in and talking about lying is unforgivable. I just like I don't understand it. It's crazy.
I was so mad. I forgot about this. I did want to pull this out. I loved the scene between Brooke and Rael.
Yeah.
The like affirmation that Trina was still his daughter, the like understanding of like, yeah, our marriage was our marriage and I would have forgiven you. It was just so masterfully played. And like Brooke and Rael made you feel the history between Portia and Taggart. Like I just thought it was beautiful, masterful. And there's something that Brooke does that I think she makes it look easy. Like there are actresses like Brooke who just make it look easy, and so people don't know how good they are. And the way she has played this, she has made it look effortless when it really takes a lot of effort to hold this story and to carry the story the way she has. And so I just thought their scenes were so good. And it also really like gave this like Curtis's first thing was like to go and drink and think about himself. And Taggart's first thing was to think about training his daughter.
Yeah.
He's her daddy.
That was like one of my hot takes. Like, has Curtis even asked about Trina in all of this? And like, according to that SOD, it takes Jordan to actually give him a clue and be like, I was like, really? He's just totally so self-centered in his thinking around this whole thing. It's like, ugh. And again, yeah.
Yeah, and that's hard to swallow considering he's been trying to act like Trina's dad
Right.
for months. So it's just anyway, Taggart is her dad, and I at first was a little disappointed by like some of the lack of fallout because we had been like playing the story for forever. But then I was like, nope, I actually really liked what we got and I like what we see.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really loved Hat Daddy's wisdom this week where he was like, go on and let it hurt, but then you gotta go and let it heal. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna put that in my email quote. Yeah, I still do those email quotes.
Partial action.
I mean, I was just like, I love that. And I love it for you, Hat Daddy, that you got to say it. I love he's like one of my redeemed persons that's been redeemed because I hated that man, remember, on site.
Oh, yes, I do.
And here he is giving good advice. Go ahead, daddy, with
Such
your
like a uncle, you know what I'm saying? Like he's such a hat daddy.
clarinets.
Like, I love it.
Clarinets go a long way towards redemption. If Esme started taking up clarinet lessons with Hat Daddy. No. So another one I said even Felicia Austin. Um I think yeah, oh, my last one was I was like, "Aw, Spencer looked so happy with baby Ace." And then flip around, oh, he looked so devastated about being used by Riot. I mean, he was like going from two emotions back and forth. And Nicholas Chavez, I love you. With the whole grandma, I messed up. I was like, oh
I know that was so good. Grandmother, I messed up. His scenes with Mora were so good. You can just tell he loves
yeah,
being her scene partner. I will also say that a missed opportunity for Sprina that makes me like disappointed. Because I've been vocal about not really caring for a lot of the story that's been around them. I don't under like I was so excited for a story of like her family not liking him and then her choosing him anyway and having to like deal with the fallout, deal with maybe some class stuff, some like, whatever. I don't know what they're gonna do with that and how much of that is gonna happen, but they were setting it up where it was like Curtis versus Nicholas and all this. And like now I think that's more compelling when she's not estranged from her family. So I don't
yeah,
know what they're going to do, but what I thought we were waiting for was the kind of blow up and like you can't be with him and her trying to figure out how to navigate it, and
right.
then having the paternity bomb be dropped and be mad, like double mad, like I can't
Double
believe
mint.
you try to like keep me from him when you were lying to me. Like that's what I was hoping would happen. And I just feel like, whew, so many missed opportunities because I look at like fan edits, I look at like fan fiction around, especially this couple, and I'm like, let some fans up in the writers' room because like you will get some
Right,
still slow burn, still
right.
all of that, but like stuff is like really compelling when it comes from the fans, and it feels like it's just not being cared for the same way by some of the writers.
Frank, you really need to text us.
You really think,
Seriously.
yeah,
We can make this show great.
good.
We really could.
Mm.
I'm almost tempted to give you my phone number right on the air.
No.
Almost.
Like I will DM you, like
I will DM you at TD Love 5. Yeah, DM me. I'm one of those people that don't get any DMs for some reason. And I will wait for this. I will accept your DM. The only DMs I get are from Xfinity when I complain about them. So,
so funny, Tanya. Are you ready for previews for next week?
sure.
Okay. Esme draws a line in the sand. This is Monday. Laura delivers words of encouragement to Spencer. Molly offers her professional opinion. Don't care.
What?
Because Molly telling Trina, like Molly being the person who was like knowing Trina was innocent, everybody was like, girl, she ain't do it. And she's sitting right at the ADA desk, like, girl, you should probably just take this plea.
Yeah, I was through with Molly ever since that day. And then even when they tried to redeem her and be like, I knew she was innocent. She should have been prosecuted this way. Like, yeah, whatever, lady. You
You
were
still
all
work
up
in the
in that.
DA's office. You and
Right.
Roberts. And now she was the same person that was like, ain't nothing gonna happen to Esme, probably. Anyway, let's keep going. Curtis confronts Jordan. Curtis.
Curtis. Ugh.
Heather lashes out. Did you see how Heather was looking at Laura?
Yeah, she was hecka jealous. She was. Oh. Oh
Uh,
yeah, so the last episode we saw Heather was in the hospital or Esme agreed to see her. Yeah.
Tuesday,
Ooh.
Portia surprises Jordan. Ava is in a bind, but is Nicholas's body in a bind?
Right. Nicholas.
Uh, Liz is grateful to Scott. Let me insert for Cam. All of this talk about how awful Jocelyn was for cheating on him. No talk about how it's wild that his mama is about to leave him with these two kids if they ever remember Jake exists because they be cutting him out of pictures. But you know, I'm not mad about them cutting the liaison baby out of pictures. Anyway, let me keep moving on. Um, Trina sticks to her guns. Sasha offers support to Michael and to Willow. It'll be good to see. I like Sasha and Willow scenes.
Mhm.
Dante develops a theory. Sunny makes Dex squirm. Obrit expresses her outrage. TJ delivers important news. Carly and Joss rally around Michael. Oof. Are they really gonna kill Willow, you think?
That's funny because we really don't even know if they're gonna kill her off. I mean, they really like usually they pull some sort of miracle by now. Like as soon as she gets home, the phone call, we found a donor, and then they have that whole, do will she or won't she wake up from the surgery and then happily ever after. That has not happened yet. So
Yeah. Gregory, or this is Thursday. Gregory praises Alexis. Really abolished the chase men, to be honest.
you know what? That was a hot take that I actually had. I was like, I really wish that Sante was musing about the situation versus Alexis and Gregory.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
I was like,
Diane and Robert catch up.
okay.
Brooklyn confides in Maxie. Christina makes a surprise discovery.
Christina.
Is it herself? Because I am.
Right? She's like, oh my God, I'm on GH. Actually, my brother had a baby and my sister-in-law's dying, but here's the first time I'm on the scene.
Yeah, it's really there's no way that Christina and Michael used to be very close, and it's
They
very
were
upsetting.
so close.
It's very upsetting to me that she hasn't been around.
Like they were best friends. I appreciate that Jocelyn loves her brother, but it's been Christina and Michael from the beginning.
Yeah, truly.
Ugh.
Laura meets with Eileen.
I'm like, who's Eileen?
I know.
I'm like, Eileen.
Yeah. Friday. Alexis is perplexed. Maxie fishes for info. Sasha wants to clear the air. Molly is uneasy. Okay, another Alexis kid sighting. Molly again. Spencer is stymied. No clue what that means. Spencer blaming himself for Nicholas's disappearance. Very sad.
Yeah.
Eek.
You know what I keep thinking as you read these previews? Like I'm wondering if the author of the previews just sits with a thesaurus and starts picking words. Because they're very varied. They're like stymied,
This is the same word, and they're like, okay,
no, we can't use
perplexed. Perplexed.
Like they have a thesaurus on hand, ready to go.
Hilarious.
Because I can.
That's our week. We've talked about redemption arcs, talked about Black Hospital. We previewed for next time. I've been left mostly unswept, half dusty from Sweeps Month.
Well,
What?
I mean, it's almost over. This is the last week of February.
How have you been left? I've been left half dusty. What about you?
I'm status quo. I think if I look good, but if you ran your finger across the shelf, you would have a layer of dust.
Oh,
I don't pass. You don't pass the white glove test, but you look decent.
I like that.
Right.
Well, again, follow us on Instagram. We do Trina Tuesday every Tuesday.
At me, TD La 5.
Texas Frank, as always.
Right.
All right. See you next week.